There we go. All right. Here we are. Hello. Welcome to episode 17, where we're a little late. It's fine. I had Wi-Fi problems. We had technical issues, but we're here. We got everything working now. Everything worked out just fine. I think. But yeah. So we're gonna be reviewing BLUELOCK Chapter 272, as well as the new manga cover that came out, and the cover spread that we got for the Masters. I'm here with Big Daddy Raven Geeks, as always. I'm gonna let him introduce himself and stuff in case you don't know who he is, which you should, though. You should, because you're watching his content, are you not? You should know.
At this point, they should.
They should. They should know who you are.
The intro ain't needed, man.
It's always needed. It's always needed. You always gotta, let yourself be known.
Yo, what's good, guys? It's your boy Raven Geeks back again with another Fortnite video. And today we're going to be talking about the new weapon introduced, and that is the triple pistol.
No, I feel like the triple pistol would actually be something they're gonna add.
The triple pistol, you hold two of them in both hands and then one in your mouth. It's like Zorro, but with guns.
Exactly. How would you fire the...
With your teeth.
No, is it just exposed? Is there no, wrap around the trigger? You have to,
Well, you wrap your tongue around it and go...
Alright, that makes sense. But yeah, so I think what we should probably start with, which would make the most sense, is... I gotta find the actual thingy. Here we are.
Here we are.
Mink. So, that was the wrong one. I don't know why. There we go. All right.
You're pretty good at this.
I'm great at this, bro. You had no idea how good I am at this. So, the first thing that we could address is the Zantetsu manga cover that we just got. Because it's something.
It disapproves the manga cover theory completely.
Of what? The anyone who survives will have a manga cover?
Yeah, so basically this is now the 24th Blue Locker who's got the manga cover.
Really?
Yeah.
Look this up. BLUELOCK manga covers.
Because... Yeah...
Is it really? I'm trying to find an image with all of them, and I can't seem to find one.
Okay, so count with me. We've got Ego, who isn't a Blue Locker. Henri is in Blue Locker. I know they run Blue Lock, but this is the players specifically. Kaiser, Ness, Sei, and Don Lorenzo. That's 6.
Wow, really? So they are... Huh. It's going to be interesting. You could have just counted Aiku, but now he's part of it, so...
Yeah.
Now it really comes down to, Yeah, because assuming, because by the end, we'll probably get another manga volume, right? Because I think they do 6 chapters every volume, give or take.
I don't know. We may get Charles next, and I feel like that makes the most sense. I feel like it wouldn't make sense if we didn't get Charles.
Yeah, it would make sense we're gonna get Charles.
Because unlike Agi, who was who seemed to be well featured. Charles is a main part of why PhD is the way it is.
Yeah, he seems like he's gonna be important later on. Agi's kind of just there now situation.
Yeah.
So, but I honestly I like it. I think it looks really good. I like how it has the pink in his hair. It's dynamic for one. They actually gave him a speedster pose as opposed to Chigiri, who's just kind of showing off his busted ass leg. But
yeah, but then again, when starting off with the series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they couldn't really take the risk of experimenting as much as they do now.
Yeah,
and I believe the experimentation also comes down to previous characters introduced, because they could have just easily made every manga cover a different variant of Isagi. But they've taken a chance on their characters, and people love these guys, which is very
100%.
nice to see. You may not like particular characters, but there is something for everyone in this series.
Oh yeah, That's another good thing is that like as long I can't even say as long as you're not a woman because like there's no real female characters aside from Anri, but like there's always going to be one character that you'll get attached to, whether it just be like play style or whatever. There's always going to be
like okay, well, if your preference is female characters, you'll be severely disappointed with this series. But even people who are female who watch and fan of Blue Lock, they really like these characters. It's not a matter of what gender they are. It's a matter of what they are like in terms of personality.
Blue Lock spinoff show, Pink Lock, same thing, just with women.
I did talk about this with someone, and I said I wouldn't appreciate that series mainly because not because of the content, but because I know people would just sexualize it.
100%. If they just recreated the entire series, like moment for moment, just with women, bro, the bath scene would make everyone go feral.
Yeah, but it's also just it's a victim to the male gaze.
Would Chigiri look like a dude?
Chigiri looking like a dude already is being sexualized.
No, but like it's the fact that he looks like a woman now.
Chigiri looking like a woman right now is already being sexualized, even though he's a dude.
No, I know. I'm just saying Chigiri would look like a man in this in the female like switch.
If they're going for full on gender bend, that wouldn't be how that works.
Yeah, it would.
No, because gender bending only takes into account your anatomy rather than what you currently look like. So we can say someone as feminine looking as Chigiri would still just look female.
But yeah, I also like how in his hair it's pink because he's linking up with Shido. I think it's kind of. I think the Nanase cover has like green because he's linking up with green. Yeah, the Nanase cover has green in his hair.
Small details. Because who else? Yeah, literally no one else on PXG is left for a manga cover.
Exactly.
Besides like the irrelevant characters. Literally Charles is the only one next, unless they want to do like a cover of a side character.
We might get a Loki one. Like Charles would probably be next, and then assuming it lasts another 20 chapters.
Want it to be Loki. I feel like those kinds of characters are better for late term. Like I said within the series, the final like manga cover is going to be like what Isagi has been building up to face. So maybe a Loki or No No is going to be the final ever Blue Lock manga cover.
Yeah. I also want to bring this up and kind of just ask because I've seen this comment and this take come up so often. Do you think Isagi can unlock his original childhood ego? His ego, it hasn't changed. It's evolved, but it's still this. It's not like Bachira or Hiyori. Like his ego is the same.
People are getting this confused. Child ego is applicable for some characters. Chigiri's mindset is just adapted and evolved. That's the whole point of his character. If he was to go backwards, he would go back to that fucking all for one and one for all kind of ego, which literally got him nowhere.
Yeah, like he doesn't have a childhood ego like Chigiri or Bachira or Baro or like any of that. He doesn't really have that. He kind of he was just kind of like an average fan. He enjoyed the sport, so he decided to play, and he really enjoyed the sport. But he didn't have the ego mindset that he does now. So going back would just revert.
Pointed this out in my latest video with talking about and like Baro just being like he's had his current philosophy ever since he was a child. He's just embraced more of the villain role, but he's still very much a believer in his own abilities.
100%.
And I feel like in terms of ego, who's kept the more childlike ego for the longest period of time, that's Baro.
Oh yeah.
Because Bachira has evolved, more so not to be reliant on his monster, but rather utilize it in circumstances where it feels beneficial.
Yeah, he's more using the monster. He like he literally said, he's becoming the monster. He's interpreting the monster as ways he could play for himself rather than others. Because he was looking for a monster. Now he just has to look for ways that he can be utilized in the way that the monster would want him to.
Yeah, he was looking for monster, but now he's looking for ways to become the monster.
Yeah, but that doesn't stop him from like doing the same thing. Like, he still links up with Isagi, and he still respects Isagi and shit. Like they're still chill as fuck.
Yeah, but it's to show that he's much more reliant on himself now. Because I feel like there has been an underlining of self-confidence issues that Butcher had.
Oh, 100%. Like
probably just because of his childhood growing up and being like socially outcasted, basically because of his way of interpreting things as a schizophrenic.
Wait, schizophrenic. Isagi's childhood light novel? What? Like,
never heard of that.
For what I've heard of it, but I read it in reference to another thing. But like, you could say whatever you want about his childhood ego, but they didn't show at the beginning of the series. Like his, like if it does, it's like the episode Nagi's story to now. Like the growth that Nagi's currently experiencing is gonna go away when we get to the next season because it's just storyline wise, all that Nagi's going through now is not at all in line with where he is or where he was in the U20 match. So like, whatever. But I like the Zantetsu cover. I like the chains being shapes just because he's really, really dumb. So they're trying to give him some kind of technical, unique style of the chains. Same thing with like Nanase being a post player, how his are very like rigid. I like the Zantetsu are very like just random shapes and shit. It's cool.
Yeah, I appreciate whenever they have smaller details.
Yeah.
Of course, going out your way to do smaller details it may not be discovered by everyone. It may not be appreciated as much, but it's still nice to say.
Yeah. All right. So the next thing we need to look at is the cover page, because this was something we finally got the colors for the official colors for all of the masters. The one thing that is odd to me that I don't like Snuffy's headband. I think it's just too much. He's also way paler than I thought he was gonna be.
It seems like a personal issue.
And I didn't think his eyes were gonna be orange, because that makes you think where he's gonna have an orange Metavision eye. Like we have Isagi's being blue, we have Aiku's being green and purple, we have Nico's being like this teal color, and we have Ryo being purple, and then Kaiser being this light blue. But it's interesting, we're having an orange, which is kind of nice. Like the closest thing to Bato we're gonna get of like red Metavision. But like, I think it's pretty nice to see, honestly. Do you have any complaints about the cover story or anything you want
to? In terms of the cover, I mean, I believe everything was what I expected besides Snuffy.
Yeah, I mean,
Noel Noah has been depicted as blonde a lot, and he's just not blonde. He's shown to have white hair.
Yeah.
So anyone who complains about that, you clearly didn't see the anime where he clearly had white hair.
Oh yeah. Someone just rang the doorbell. There is a hurricane outside. Why is someone ringing our doorbell?
Hurricane Katrina.
More like Hurricane Tortilla. The one thing I wasn't expecting a Lavinho. I'm gonna say it. I didn't expect him to have purple eyes. Like in hindsight, it can kind of make sense, but at the same time, like
I appreciate the fact that they will be ambitious enough to give someone of that hair color that different colored eyes.
Yeah. And then like the side braids being different colors too, or the beads in his hair or something.
Yeah, you won't expect it, but that's the fun of it. That's the fun.
Chris Prince looks exactly like how I imagined he'd look.
Yeah, blonde. I don't even know what color his eyes is.
It's like gray, like it's kind of the same as Charles. Honestly, it's very, very similar.
Yeah.
But I honestly was hoping he'd have more blue or green eyes. Personally, like maybe like it's gray now, but maybe like a hint of blue. I think would have been nice. But I don't know. This is kind of preference, I guess.
But yeah, good stuff.
At least they don't fumble with like Kiora. The anime was so far off with Kiora.
Yeah, true.
I wonder what they're gonna do. Are they gonna just like commit, or are they gonna like?
I feel as if though the design change of like Burū within the manga, it sort of adapted itself in the anime as it went on. So
here's the thing: you can't adapt from a black hair and red eyes to like a dark green hair and blue eyes. Like,
yeah, it'll be fine. I feel like they'll just do it.
How'd you like my colored contacts that I wore when we first met? Coincidentally, after the second selection.
Them just not realize, they finished the anime at the time, during when the NEL was just beginning.
Yeah, it was like what? It was 2 years ago, right? Like the season ended in like what, 2022? No, it was like March of 2023.
Early 2023.
It's like 2023. So like it was like a year and a half ago. Which, if that's like 100 chapters, they would have just ended like what, Manshine, or like started Manshine City match. Yeah. Kiora still didn't get any real screen time.
Brett got a pass and then.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that. Someone just mentioned Noah has a glass chair.
Huh.
Like if you look, you can see through it. Like you can see.
I would not be able to like convey what the significant detail and meaning of that would be, because that seems very outlandish.
I feel like it's more crystal than glass. Like I know it does appear to be glass, but like a crystal, like the number one spot.
If glass chair, I'm not sure.
If it was a glass chair, his ass would crush it.
I don't know how to interpret that, so whatever. By the way, I should mention this. I have my predictions for what this chapter would be about, based on the title, Rock, Paper, Scissors. And for anyone who was there last time, I said certain things about how Rock, Paper, Scissors represents Rin, Kaiser, and Isagi. So get ready to see this.
Go check out the last stream, because he literally mentioned it in his prediction. But all right, so we get into the chapter now. There's a lot of things I read from this chapter that I really was interested on. I don't know about you, but you have the English scans, right?
Yeah, Faux acknowledged this as, well, a terrible chapter. He didn't. I'm pretty sure he didn't like it.
Dude, if you don't like the chapter, you're expecting constant action and shit. Like,
I like breakdowns, because it allows for more theorizing to continue. It's kind of what we're built for. So it's why we have these YouTube channels where we talk about the concepts and shit.
Exactly. I'm just happy we didn't get another luck moment where we go for fucking 2 weeks of nothing with Kaiser about to score, and everyone's like, nah, he ain't scoring. Just to come back and cook everybody. He cooked everybody. But
all right, so shout out to Kuriko's basket. Shout out to
baseball.
What
is it? Ace of Diamonds, baseball. Something like that.
Ace of Diamonds. Yeah, that sounds correct.
And then what's the one? Aoshi?
The other
Aoshi?
one.
what's the other soccer anime? Aoshi or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Is that my freaking
Aoshi? It is. No, it is Michael Jordan. He plays for balls.
I love how the jersey just says balls.
And rocking 23 balls. Michael Jordan.
Balls 23. Anyway.
That's wild. Why does the baseball player throwing the bat? He looks like he's running like one of those abnormal Titans in Attack on Titan. Look at him run.
Probably is one. It's kind of weird. When
he got his arms
concentrate, they unconsciously open their mouths or stick out their tongues.
Oh yeah. This is often seen in childhood. It is said that the top athletes do this to release themselves from excessive tension and relax their bodies. I've never heard this.
It is true.
Is it?
It is actually scientific. It's because our most natural state is just, if we were to relax our face for like unconsciously, much like how these people would be, our tongue would eventually just come out.
You know, I hope in the anime when they get to this point, they adapt it, and instead of having balls, they just do something really stupid, like more stupid than balls. Like, come on, if you and by the way, as like a team manager, whoever owns the team or some shit, like, really, you're gonna spend a lot of money on balls?
Balls, big ones.
Michael Balls Jordan. Like, that's
Michael Balls Jordan.
Michael Balls Jordan. Right. But we get into the chapter, and Loki says, Still you're sticking out your tongue too much. You're quite wild, Itoshi-rin. And no one notices, so that's the true nature of Blue Lock's #1. So you hear that? You hear that? Even Noah acknowledges Rin as the #1 in Blue Lock. So I don't want to hear any more.
Was that a debatable topic?
Well, people think Isagi's better.
He's not. I've said this before. Like, Isagi in terms of individual stats, he is still on the adaptation level, trying to keep up.
Mm-hmm.
He's not ever been better than Rin. He
just gets better in a game
in some capacity, but never outright been better than him.
We still haven't even gotten a true Rin versus Isagi 1-on-1 like we did with Sai, just because Nanase and Corona came in to assist.
Yeah.
And like, I wanted another 1-on-1, but even then, like, Rin is definitely still better than Isagi. Isagi just, I'm gonna say this, it doesn't make sense to me how he's able to keep up with Rin to this point. How Rin isn't just immediately cooking him, considering he just destroyed Nagi so easily in flow.
I believe now on the pitch, it really carries them in terms of vision. I believe Nagi's, of course, bounce back is less effective because he doesn't have as good a vision.
Mm-hmm.
That's the effect of because Nagi in terms of physicality would be better, but stamina-wise and whatever. But like, Isagi just has the vision in order to be able to keep up.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like a constant pressure.
Yeah. So we see Isagi knocked on his ass, and Kaisers come to intercept Rin. They start to match up, and Kaiser tries to block Rin to steal the ball. He goes to put his hand out, and Rin. That was I gotta say, that's probably the most violent arm smack we've seen from Rin. Like,
that felt like unconsciously powerful. You know how people restrict themselves in terms of like strength. It's because I believe it's Kaiser. Like, on Kaiser's level, he's going to need the full impact of power in order to be shoved away, because he is a professional level player.
Yeah.
So I feel like Rin has the excuse to not hold back against him.
Yeah. In this situation, I feel like it's like you said, this was unnaturally powerful, but even then, like, this just seems like one of those things where, like, you're passed out and someone scares you and you just, like, reflexively fucking wake up and your arm goes flying or some shit. Like, if someone scares you, like, promising just to fucking slap the I don't know about you, but I do that shit. Someone scares the shit out of me when I'm sleeping, my arm just fucking goes crazy. But
please, I go stupid.
Basically, but I like how Isagi's just laying on the ground. He's like, "Ooh, I gotta watch this for a row seat." But he says, "Nice stalling, you fucking clown." And Kaiser says, "Don't come here." As they both go to 2v1. Kaiser says, "It's a duel between me and this fucking tongue," which just sounds abnormally erotic.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Could they not come up with a better nickname?
It's a duel between me and his fucking tongue. That's Blue Lock. It's boy love.
I don't know. That felt like an unnecessary, like, hey, I gotta find a way to insult him. But then he just said a body part.
Oh yeah. Like, he says, "Like I care, I'm gonna crush you." And Rin looks like he's out of his flow state again, because his eyes don't have his vortex vision, and he doesn't have, and he doesn't have the black.
Should we clarify, like, completely blacked out eyes is not flow?
It's not flow, but it's definitely like when comparison to where we see him in flow, whenever he is confirmed, he has those black eyes. So it's not indicative for every player, but for Lune, I think it's definitely something.
Yeah, I mean, destroyer mode and flow are going to be under different contexts.
Well, destroyer mode is his flow, is it not?
If we were to label them as of course, because we've seen Rin in destroyer mode. Did we really just say that he was in? Was it confirmed that he was completely in flow, or was it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ego literally said, "So that's your flow."
Okay, that's fine. But what I wanted to point out is that some people, of course, claimed Karasu was in flow because he had blacked out eyes.
Some people.
And I think blacked out eyes isn't the indicator of flow.
I don't think so either, unless you want to count like. I don't even know if you can.
It's too bad they don't make it more obvious if that's the case.
Yeah, it's very inconsistently like. Well, it's very inconsistent. Like they don't have.
I feel as if flow is kind of minimizing its effect if everyone is being able to jump around with it. That's why I don't want to believe that Karasu ever entered flow.
Yeah.
Because Karasu is a very nothing.
If he entered flow and then couldn't get past Hiyori, that's something. Yeah. Like you couldn't stop Hiyori with help.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. But Lune says, I now understand the psychology that leads me to flow. The desire to bring out the best in my enemy and destroy them is an impulse that comes from my deep-seated desire to risk my life to destroy an amazing person. I was able to raise my performance to such a level in the U20 match because I threw everything at the strongest existence, Hisoshi Sai, in that moment. And now before me, there's a guy I want to kill and a fucking nuisance. So
I love how he clarifies Kaiser as a nuisance because it just implies the fact that he is struggling against Kaiser.
Yeah. Like, he wants to crush Isagi, but he can't while Kaiser's present.
Yeah, because
Kaiser's a bigger threat.
Because as we see later on, Kaiser is clearly delivering pressure in which Rin doesn't want to deal with. He wants to crush Isagi one-on-one because he knows he can do it. But since he's not left to his own devices, it just leads to the situation that he's currently in, which he considers a nuisance.
Exactly. Like, and then he says the conditions are set. And honestly, this is probably one of my I think this is probably my favorite panel from the chapter. With Rin going back into his flow state and says, all that's left for me is to have the courage to burn to death in this moment. And he gets his vision style back. Which, I've made this point before. I think they're doing too much. I think the vision style, they're going too much with vision. Like, this arc has gotten it's really confirmed the 4 main vision styles that we have. Like, sorry, I'm yawning. Metavision was introduced in the 3rd selection, yeah. But it wasn't given a name or any real usage until now. Predator Eye was revealed in this arc and is only getting used now. Charles's like dartboard-like vision is introduced in this. We don't even have real confirmation, but it's definitely something unique. And then this style of vision, like there's 4 different kinds of vision, and realistically, I don't know what this thing can do. Because like Predator Eye is focused on singling out something. Or singling out someone. Metavision's on interpreting everything. Like the dartboard vision, I'm predicting is about passing trajectory. Is this like a dribbling vision? Is this like a ball control vision?
Okay, so if I was to say, destroy mode vision as a concept, I would perceive it to be take someone's maximum potential and crush it. But of course, how could that be interpreted? Well, you know how people's weaknesses get used against them. This vision's about using people's strengths against them.
Yeah.
So basically, outclassing someone in their strength. Say finds people's weaknesses, and Rin finds people's strengths.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's the difference because I feel like Sai has has of course the opposite vision as confirmed because he doesn't destroy things. Well, does he? He dismantles things beautifully, and then Rin destroys things horrendously. So
I hope Sai doesn't get a vision style, and he's just that good on his own. Like, I think that'd be just a whole eight inch cock slap on the table. Like, this is what I got.
Yeah, I feel like they're doing too much if they're giving so many vision styles, because at this point you could just chalk it up to be like this vision represents their play style. Why can't they just have the play style instead of just having a completely different colored eye or a different kind of eye pattern? It seems excessive.
Dumpling said, I'm worried on how the author is gonna build on football in the later arcs. So much has already been revealed, and they don't know what the author could add. See, that's one of the problems, is that like your reasoning is good, right, for what this eye style can do, but what's the significance in terms of the design? Like, Metavision is basically like a radar thing. That's the design of it, is to kind of interpret everything on the field like a radar would sense anyone around them. Predator Eye is a cat. It's literally on focusing, narrowing its vision. The pupil gets smaller. Like, it gets decreased.
Is literally the case of like a carnivore.
But the dartboard vision is literally like a tunnel. You can see where you're gonna end up, where the ball's gonna go. Like, it's literally like a telescope. It's a dartboard. You aim for a specific thing.
And that vision seems very akin to assisting.
Yeah, it's very passer specific. But this, I don't know what, like, because it looks like a whirlpool or a vortex. That's why I just keep calling it this vortex vision. But it doesn't. What's the correlation to the eye design? Like, is it supposed to be because of self-centering? Like, he's focusing on destruction, like you said, but he's focused. That's its entire goal.
I think the destruction element comes from the fact of like his eyes representing vortex, black hole, kind of things in which destroy, right? Would be cool. It would be cool to see if Sai actually has like a white hole scheme instead of a black hole.
What, like, it just did the opposite? Like the spikes and stuff come out from the center of the pupil and go out?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. But the thing is that with this vision style, it'd be stupid just to give it only to Rin. Because if your explanation is like the destruction and shit, that playstyle only really applies to Rin that we've seen. And it's because of his like experience as a child, and that's how he builds upon everything and shit, right? But like, this vision style, if you only give it to Rin, it's one of those things of like, oh, we have to give something to Rin to kind of keep him on level with Isagi, instead of giving him something that he has but other people can have as well. So I really hope they get some kind of explanation, because
I felt as if though like the difference has always been like they wanted to go the direction that that Isagi was taking, but they didn't want to overdo it. They wanted a reason to why Isagi has to overcome another barricade without it just being Metavision, because Isagi at this point has faced so many people with Metavision.
Yeah.
So it's just a different way of tackling it. I understand it's weird, maybe somewhat confusing for people. But if they can just explain it better in later times, then I will have no problem with it. They just have to come back to it. They can't just leave us with the information of like, hey, this is Rin's eye because he's the top dog kind of shit.
Yeah,
it needs a proper explanation to what his eye actually is, what his vision is, etc.
Yeah, and because they are indicating that this has some kind of unique ability to it, because they keep emphasizing the eye. Like, if this was just one of those things of just like, oh, it's indicative of his flow state or something, that's one thing. But they're putting a lot of significance on this eye, and this unique aura is kind of the indication of his flow state. So I don't know, personally, I don't know. Yeah, so we see Kaiser activate his Metavision, and he says, I'm not going to fall for it, as he sees Isagi pressuring Rin. And Rin says he's not charging in, I want to destroy them all at once. He says Blue Rose, and Kaiser says you'll get bit by Yoichi and the stray dogs. As Ness comes in, which Ness looks fucking hilariously crazy, like, in this chapter.
I feel like it's a moment of desperation, really.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't like this a little bit. It was kind of a thing I have bothered with me, because I wanted to see Ness completely out the game until he finds his own inspiration to come back in.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of how in which he followed Kaiser's magic. It was inspired by his magic of playing football. He would actually look to other people and how they play football, and probably realize like Isagi is much more, of course, appreciative of the people around him with his magic of football.
Yeah, I feel like this is a good step though towards that. Like he's not doing it because Kaiser told him to, but he's wanting. He that's all he knows. Like playing soccer before, no one could catch up to what he was wanting to do. Like no one was able to reach the heights he was wanting to with his passes, except for Kaiser. So he's still kind of like putting his faith in Kaiser, but in the sense of that's all he knows how to do now. So he's going to keep that faith until he finds something. And this is a good step because all throughout the series, Ness only does what Kaiser tells him to. Like he'll tell him to rush forward and he'll do it. He'll tell him to shield Lorenzo and he'll do it. He'll tell him to send a specific kind of pass to someone else and he'll do it. This is him going off on his own, but he's still kind of like linked in, if that makes sense. Like the chains are starting to break.
To appease instead of just listening to commands.
This moment here is also very important for something that a theory I'm going to bring up later when we get to the end of the chapter, but we'll get there. So Ness says, "Let me join in, me too." And he uses his ankle technique to steal the ball. Rin says, "Damn it, I missed it." And Ness chips the ball up and has this like curvature over, so it's going all the way backfield. And he says, and Rin says, "I gotta get in a tighter fight to get the calm emperor to go for it." Ness says, "How about it, Kaiser, my pressing?" And Kaiser says, "I don't care, I'm no longer your master," as he rushes past Ness. And Rin says, "Still too lukewarm." Karasu and Hiyori are seen, and Karasu screams second ball, and Charles is able to get the ball between Raichi and Kiora and says, "Count me in. I can show off now." And he does a little demon imp emoji. Shido appears and says, hey, pass it, Charles boy. And Kaiser activates his metavision and says, "I understand now. Itoshi Rin's talent is definitely the most outstanding in Blue Lock in terms of individual skill level." And Yoichi has continued to adapt and evolve to defeat this guy. That if that's the case, the center of Blue Lock is the relationship between these two rivals. Rin and Yoichi stealing the main character's seat created by them is my impossible challenge. So this is really interesting to me as well, that Kaiser himself has kind of interpreted that he doesn't have to deal with Isagi anymore. Like, he's kind of going to be doing not the goal poacher strategy, but he's more doing the main character poaching. Like, he's waiting on them to crush each other or be fixated for him to do anything. And I like how he's taken this calm approach as to his like very rabid and desperate approach that he did when he scored his goal. Yeah. Like he's doing kind of what Isagi was doing all of like Manshine. Like he's taking account of everything in the whole situation and really utilizing his metavision to the fullest. And I feel like we've been sorely lacking in that recently. So I think it's really, really nice to see.
I always said this. He deconstructed himself and basically started from scratch, which is why he started utilizing only Predator's Eye to like sort of fixate on his target. Mm-hmm. But now he's like steadily evolving into this different limelight within this match and is going through the motions of approaching things to a different standard. Him himself is becoming adaptive.
Yeah. Another thing is that I noticed that this match, you can hate it if you want, but I think it's a really interesting cause. They're really focusing on relationships in this match. Like, you have the relationship between Kaiser and Ness falling apart, the relationship between Kaiser and the ball. You have the relationship between Itoshi Rin and Isagi here. You have the relationship between Charles and Shido that they've become so fixated. It's very relationship-oriented about this game. And they're really going, and he seems to be really digging towards, like, not the chemical reactions, but the linking of play styles and, like, the interpretation of each player playing against each other. And I feel like that's what's really letting Isagi and Kaiser shine here, is because they have metavision and their entire thing is interpreting those kinds of interactions with players. And I think it's really, really nice to see that them really going this route. Like I feel like he tried to experiment with the Nagi and Ryo situation, and Like, then you went to Bardo and Snuffy and Bardo and Lorenzo, and now you're really digging into that kind of situation here. And it's slowly building a case better for Isagi to have a better chance at scoring. And I just think it's really interesting. And the relationship aspect will also come back later on to my theory as well. But yeah, I think it's interesting. What do you think?
Stuff.
I think stuff. I got no comment. Alright, so the last end of this chapter is going to be with Charles saying so annoying, and Kaiser says, get lost, you damn side character demon. Rin and Isagi notice something, and Isagi says, I see. I've got it. The current state of the field. The quality of Rin's movements has improved, and now only I can keep up with him. In that case, Kaiser, who is less vigilant, will be able to score more easily, be able to move more easily. But when Kaiser's attacks alone, I just need to attract attention like I did before. Narase gets the ball and Corona goes to press him. And Isagi continues his monologue by saying, and if I stand out, Rin will try to target my movements from behind, creating an infinite cycle. The power balance is so finely matched that when someone stands out, someone else crushes them. Me, Rin, and Kaiser are currently crushing each other like rock, paper, scissors. In other words, with just one mistake, one spark of inspiration, any three of us could score a goal. I see it. The key to the next goal is a fourth piece that aims for the main character other than the three of us. Whether it is someone who will create a fatal crack in the field or force in a new set of values. Don't miss that moment. Isagi says, I'll win with my goal. Kaiser says, I'll take it. And Rin says, I'll kill you, as they all activate their unique vision styles. So Kaiser goes back to Predator Eye, Isagi goes to Metavision, and Rin goes to his Vortex Vision. And the final remark is a fierce battle to the top. There is only one throne to seek. Now, I don't exactly remember the chapter. Is it something to do with beasts? I believe the chapter had something to do with. Beast. It wasn't Beast of Destruction. It was something like around that kind of description. But I want to find. I'm going to Shadow's Twitter because I'm going to try and. Here we go. Yo, it's literally called To Be Continued Beast of Destruction. So it's definitely going to be something Rin oriented, or he's going to do something targeting Rin, or Rin's going to have his moment or something, because they both notice something when we see that. But to my theory, I believe that the fourth piece is a chemical reaction with Ness and Kiora. Now you got to hear me out, right? Ness definitely doesn't want to work with Isagi. It's been pretty clear. However, the point that I want to make is that the relationships of this match is very focused on relationships and situationships and shit like that with the ball or with the game or with other characters and kind of how they're playing and the relationships that they're having. I think that Isagi is going to force a situation where Rin and Kaiser have to go against each other. And it's going to be one of those situations where he kind of gets into a situation where Rin is in his full flow state and is going against Kaiser like he was wanting, right? And in that situation, you're gonna have Kaiser 100% versus Rin in his flow 100% going against each other. And because of that situation, Isagi is gonna be able to move freely because they're focused on crushing each other. Now, obviously, he'd have Corona and Isagi, but the piece he's needing in order to complete this is he's needing Kiora and Ness. He's going to need either Ness to kind of, like, be in a situation similar to Kunigami, where Kunigami was forced to help Kaiser because of his situation with Shido, as well as Kiora going to assist because he always goes for the underdog. Now, earlier, I thought it was going to be like Kiora supporting Isagi, but now I want Kiora to support Kaiser, right? I want Kiora to go back in and support Kaiser again, along with Ness kind of being like, he's got nothing. This is his chance to try and instill a new set of values that he doesn't need Kaiser to tell him what to do, but he's going to do this because it's the best thing for his situation, right? Mm-hmm. And the reason for that is because the force in a set of new values, and whether it's someone who created a fatal crack in the field like Kiora did with his borderlining philosophy of faking a pass to Isagi but then giving it to Kaiser, going in to assist Kaiser is going to keep people more wary of Kaiser, like what Isagi wants. Along with Ness being kind of forced into his devotion, he wants to kind of force in a new set of like of the fact that he's taking Kaiser's full spot. Like, he's saying that Battle Dimension has been taken over by Isagi, but now he's enforcing it by basically dragging Kaiser into the limelight and getting Kiora to go over there and kind of force that entire situation so Isagi can kind of do what Bara does and thrive on the darkness of the field. Right?
Yeah.
Since, like, he literally says to Bara that he takes the darkness that Bara creates and turns it into light. That's what he's going to do. He's going to shine a light on everyone else, slip into the fucking darkness that is created when they're focusing, and then he takes it and then scores a goal. I don't think it's going to happen realistically, but I think this is his plan. So that's what I think this fourth piece is kind of using Kiora and Ness as a way for him to score a goal.
What I do appreciate, actually, regarding this, is that they show us the layout of the entire pitch right now. That's really, really helpful to where we can perceive how close Rin was. He was pretty much just behind the penalty line, I guess. But anyway, yeah, you have a very solid theory. I don't have much to pick off of right now, purely because it is just it's the start of basically like the rock paper scissors game has reached a stalemate because none of them can capitalize off one another. It feels so weird, the fact that of course Isagi and Kaiser work against each other but are working on the same team. I know that's been the whole like thing, but the rock paper scissors dynamic doesn't need to exist. It's always so funny to think like if Kaiser and Isagi were to work together, this match would be easily done with. But you got to build Isagi somehow. You got to build a challenge for Isagi somehow when he has a fucking a new Gen 11 player.
Yeah. And another thing that I'm noticing is that Tokimitsu's right here with Nanase, and Corona's going to press him. They're definitely going to try and break through with a 1-2 through Corona. So, and since Rin is right there, they'll probably break through Corona and give a pass back to Rin.
Yeah, they have more of a. Also, I'm pretty sure Shido and Kurigami are covered up by that text right there.
Where
the aims for the main, like in the middle of that, is Kunigami and Shido.
Oh yeah, they're right there.
That's a little inconvenient, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how they'll go forward. Of course, that is a break week next week. So
yeah.
We ain't gonna get much now, and I feel like Charles is actually quickly diminishing in terms of motivation once again, because I feel like that facial expression just gives off either just frustration or just can't be bothered with this shit anymore.
Yeah, Charles needs to stop passing to Shido. Like,
well, he's not going to learn because he just passes. He's basically what Bachura was, where he would just make a really ambitious passes and expects an outcome from them. Well, he sort of doesn't, but he just does it for fun anyway.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to remember, but I'm pretty sure Charles has gotten his pass since Kunigami began marking Shido. There have been 7 failed attempts from Charles to Shido, either because of Kunigami or because of another player, but 7 failed attempts, and you really don't want to pass to the other main striker on your team, the same one who scored a hat trick.
Do you believe that pass was meant for Shido or Rin? Because it looked like it was going more to the direction of Rin, but that could be a curve pass for.
It was straight for Shido, because that's what Kaiser read and intercepted. Because Isagi was still on Rin, but Shido was like, "Pass it to me," and then
it's just the pass angle. It looked weird to say it would go to Shido, because that means it would have to do a full curve in the air.
Well, we've seen how he passes. Like, he was able to put backstep on this pass before.
Yeah, he can definitely do curve passes. It was just I don't know. It didn't seem like, because from this angle you can see like Charles is back there, so he would make that pass either to Rin directly, but then you see how Kaiser pretty much just bodies. By the way, that's a really low pass if Kaiser's able to only jump that minimal in order to header it.
Yeah. Let me see it. He passes the ball. No, I think it's definitely going for Shido.
Okay. No, it just looks weird. That's all I'm saying. It just looks weird.
Oh yeah, it definitely does look odd. But I don't know. Let me ask you. So, do you think if Charles stopped passing to Shido and was more open to passing to other people, that he'd be new Gen 11 status? Because what makes a new Gen 11? Like what can, because people want to say Isagi's new Gen 11 status.
No.
And if they want to say Isagi's new Gen 11, I think Charles is right on that level in terms of just different skills. Like,
has Charles actually been beaten in a one-on-one situation yet?
I don't think he's really gotten into one-on-one situations.
Yeah, I know he does pass immediately afterwards, but
he's like the Shido. He's like the Shido of passing. He's like the Shido version of a midfielder.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't really dribble or anything. He kind of just like kicks the ball.
He has one skill, and that's to pass to other people.
Yeah.
And then Shido has that one skill where he receives passes to shoot.
Yeah. It's very like he really is just the Shido of midfielders. Like, that's the reason Sai was probably the perfect chemical reaction buddy for Shido, is because he can do what Charles can do and more. Like, he can get to a spot where a pass is perfect and needed and then send it. But Charles just sends a pass from wherever the hell he is, hoping he gets there. Like, I think that's definitely one of the reasons that Kunigami's been able to stop Shido so much, is because Charles is just kind of passing right there, and Shido can't really... Like, Shido was made to, like, move to a spot, and then Sai sends a pass to it. Charles is sending passes, and then hopes Shido runs to them.
Yeah.
Like, it's very opposite of what Shido needs to do. Oh yeah, Dumbflame asked why you don't live stream yourself. I'm gonna let you answer that.
Your bad incident.
That's why. That's why if we ever do collab on his channel, we'll be doing videos for his channel, because he's here, like, on mine all the time. I gotta help him out sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
If he wants me.
I just had bad internet. It's I'm pretty sure the requirement for like good streaming, or at least semi-decent stream output, is like 5 megabits of upload. I just don't have that, and that seems kind of pathetic. And yes, it is. It's kind of pathetic, but I can't control that.
Yeah. So before we do end the stream, I do want to leave an announcement. So I put a poll the other day, I think it might have been even yesterday, that I put a poll out to get your guys' opinions on what event we should be doing for next week for break week. Now, I appreciate your opinions. However, the plans have changed. We will still be doing an overrated, underrated, fairly rated stream. However, there is going to be a game show style event happening on next Sunday. Next Sunday's break week. We're going to be having Raven and Suki, Fofo Tsukiyomi. He's going to be here because it's going to be a one-on-one game show style event. I'm not going to really go into the very finer details, but I've worked very hard to get this done. You guys will hopefully very much so enjoy it. If this is something you guys like, because I hope you guys enjoy it, because the game show is tournament style, where I'm going to be getting as many people from the BLUELOCK community to come on and do the game show as well. And if you win, you go on to the next round. If you don't, you lose. You're out. And whoever can win all the rounds becomes the best at the game show in the BLUELOCK community. So, I hope you guys are very excited for that. Raven doesn't know what it is. Suki doesn't know what it is. I'm keeping it a secret from them, and I will keep a secret from you guys until the day of, where you'll see the thumbnail.
It could be rounds and shit. Oh god.
You are gonna have a fun time, because it is going to be.
Bro, I go to these streams completely brainless. No.
Dude, you're gonna want to brush up on your BLUELOCK knowledge, because this is a BLUELOCK game show, bro. In reference to the episode Nagi chapter, I think that's supposed to be coming out next week as well, or sometime this week.
Yeah, maybe.
Just because the episode Nagi releases once a month, and usually is like the first week of the month. It might release tomorrow, actually, since they usually release the official scans on Tuesday. I see you, Dumb Flame. Thank you for tuning in. But yeah. So whenever they do a stream, if Raven can't make it, I'll just review the chapter myself. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this stream. Just under an hour, but still a good stream. I'm surprised I was able to make it to the entire stream without my Wi-Fi turning off. But anything you want to add, Raven?
Don't do drugs.
Because then you'll end up like Lorenzo before Snuffy found him.
No, you'll end up like Snuffy's best friend who died of an overdose.
This is true. This is very true. But Snuffy's best friend got tons of bitches.
Yeah, but like, what's better? Continuously still getting tons of bitches? Or dying from an overdose?
That's a very hard question.
Damn! Can't I pick both?
Damn it, bro! I really want to do both, bro. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week for the game show. I'm very excited for it, and yeah.
Peace.
You might want to study up on Blue Lock, though. By the way, Raven. Because you were going to need it.
You asked the dude with a full-time job to study your Blue Lock.
You are going to need to reread the whole manga because I am doing some wild shit with this game show.